What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Speaking Sessions podcast. Today, I want to talk to you about hand gestures. So if you're not watching the video of this right now, I would suggest that you go over to YouTube to watch the video version of this. But without further ado, we're not just going to talk about hand gestures. We're going to talk about some other things as well, because I think this is an important thing for us to think about. Now, when we think of hand gestures, a lot of times we think about using our hands, talking with our hands, which is exactly what hand gestures are. Literally talking with your hands. And this came up in a training that we were doing the other day. And with that, one thing I want us to talk about a little bit about body language, but I really want to focus in on the hand gestures, because this is going to be crucial to help you not only just speak out the words you're saying, but act them out as well. And actually, I've been taking German class, so I'm going to give you an example within German class of how the instructor there actually teaches us. And actually, before I forget that, let me just go ahead and go into with the German instructor. So as he's telling us these words, we ask, hey, what is so-and-so? Like, what is flag? And well, flag might not be a good one. What is a high five? And so he'll sit there, or maybe we won't ask about a high five, but he'll start trying to say a word, and let's say it's a high five. Well, he'll literally kind of start high-fiving his own hands as he's saying the word in German to help give a hint to us that, oh, that means high five, whatever that means. And I'm still learning German, so my German is very poor. Ein bisschen Deutsch. That means a little Deutsch, or a little German that I speak. I didn't say sprechen, but anyways. So he uses a lot of hand gestures to help hint at the words that he's trying to say. So sometimes there's another one that, if we happen to be talking about shooting a gun or something, he'll sit there and act like he's aiming, he's holding the shotgun to shoot. And that's his way of helping us understand what the word is without him saying it in English, because he's pushing for us to speak less and less English so we can learn German quicker and use it more. And so he's expressing in that way. And so the same thing for us when we are going into a speech. A lot of times I like to do it, and you probably see it here on the podcast when I talk about you, I point at the camera, since I'm on camera right now. But if I was speaking on stage, I would point out the audience and go, you need to make this change. You need to do that. You're responsible for whatever, whatever I'm talking about. So when I use these hand gestures, I want to make sure that they match with what I'm saying. And sometimes and you've seen this as well, where I'll talk about, the core message you have. And so I'll put kind of my hands together here and kind of put like a circle, like it's in the center of the core. And then I'll kind of go like around that core. I may have like one hand and I'll put like around it, or I've talked about like the umbrella before. So you got your core message and you've got your umbrella, and everything needs to come underneath that umbrella. So I use my hands a lot for that. Well, in a training the other day, we were going through, and somebody mentioned about how they liked that because we were kind of giving feedback to each other, and that was part of the training, was that people would go up and present like on a random question, doing some impromptu speaking, and get some feedback very briefly on what they can do to literally improve on some of the things that they did. And so my question was, what are you looking forward to in the next week? And at the time I was getting ready to go to Germany. So by the time this airs, I will have already been back from Germany. But I made the joke about how I just hope that the planes they're not going to break down. Hopefully I don't have a Boeing 737. As of right now, they've been crashing a lot or having a lot of issues. But as I was saying that, I was like, as I go over and I had my hand going from my left side over to the right, as simulating that I'm going over to Germany. And then I would put my hand back the other way. So from the right to the left, saying as I come back from Germany, that I hope that my plane doesn't have any issues like a lot of the Boeing 737s. But I used my hands to simulate a little bit of flying, a plane flying in the air and everything like that. Now, one of the things that was mentioned there, and I'll mention this, that I need to work on, that I had a huge smile on my face because it was a funny joke, but they suggested, which makes a lot of sense, is maybe if you're talking about a plane crashing, maybe you don't smile during that. So I should have been a little bit more even keel. Sad may have been a little too far, since it obviously hasn't happened, but I should have not had a smile on my face, but that's a different kind of gesture. But the hand gesture was the fact that I had my hand go up one way, like I was going over to that country, and then my hand going up the other way, like I was coming back from that country. And so same thing for you. Maybe you're talking about running, so you're gonna jog your hands right by your side, or oh man, I was so embarrassed. So you cover up your eyes. Oh, you need to listen in. So I like to put a finger behind my ear, push my ear out forward, further out than it already is, sticking outside of my head, and show that, hey, you need to listen, or hey, look here, and you can point at your eye. Or as you're smiling, hey, put a big smile on your face, and literally you can run your fingers along your lips, showing that you're smiling. Put or maybe on your cheeks, kind of symbolizing dimples. If you don't have dimples, it's okay. You can still do that to symbolize a big smile on your face. But using your hands can be powerful because it allows you to show a visual more than you just being a standing person. If you're presenting in front of a group, whether it be a big group, boardroom, 2 people, 1 person, using your hands will help describe more of what it is that you're talking about. It'll be more interesting versus you being a standing stick figure, standing there simply speaking words out. So using these hand gestures can be very powerful. And so the way I like to think about it, going back to our flight example, is what does a plane look like? It goes up and over stuff, and it comes back and over stuff. So back and forth are my flights and everything. Or an umbrella, I may kind of, I could put both hands up, or maybe I'm being a ballerina because it kind of looks like I'm a ballerina right now, and I could spin around real quick. But trying to act out the words that you're saying will be helpful. And now, don't do this for everything. So if you're talking about like flying or birds, don't go like Napoleon Dynamite and put your thumbs together and wave in your hands. Don't go that far. You can overdo these hand gestures, but using some hand gestures to symbolize different things will be helpful. Will get more engagement from your audience, and as you're speaking longer, it'll become more and more important. But it'll also help set in the memory as well, because they're not only hearing what you're saying, but now they're seeing some of the stuff that you're doing. And you can't help if you are moving your hands around to be able to express more as well. So it really helps with you bringing your voice out, bringing that vocal variety for you to be able to express what it is that you're talking about more. So those are just some ideas for you when it comes to hand gestures and using them in your speeches and presentations. I promise you, it may be uncomfortable at first, but it will get better, and it will make your speeches and presentations that much better. So start using them, even if it's like, hey, thumbs up or high five, like, literally just putting a thumb up, or you're putting your hand out there like you're giving somebody a high five. Doing simple little hand gestures like that will start to go a long ways. So give them a try and let us know what you think about hand gestures in your next presentation.